not only researchers, but we are teachers also. So we know that COVID-19 have crashed the world and changed everything, changed the way that we see at this moment how the we can be able with this type of pandemic behavior, and demonstrated a set of important vulnerabilities and adjustments that the societies need to implement. Some ideas is concerning the way we interact with each others, but also the way we interact with all the things that we touch every day, every time in the day, etc. Particularly in the context of teaching methodologies, the challenge to develop and implement new teaching methodologies open, of course, a lot of challenge to the teaching centers, to the universities, and to the research centers. And particularly in my case, I'm from the engineering domain. In fact, I am a mechanical engineering, and it is a discipline focused on the creating and changing our physical world, but it's also connected to other domains like humanities, like science, like arts, etc. But it's important to know that engineering can or must be seen as the organization, the design, the construction, but for the general benefit of the mankind. And this challenge, teaching practice require strong adaptations, not only in the teaching, but also in the assessment procedures. And particularly, we know that we need experimental teaching. We know laboratory courses and how to implement laboratory courses with this pandemic, how to correctly evaluate the students. A lot of questions can be put, but there are one way. It's teaching concerning projects. Use project learning based for teaching our students. It's a very good and a very interesting way. And this is the way that how can we get the students engaged? In the right picture, you can see one of my lectures in the applied mechanics course. 40 minutes after the end of the lecture, there are still a student in the session. Of course, I know that the student never been there. Just the name, just the connection, not him. He was not engaged in my lecture. And this is a big problem. So we can see our projects, the way to teach in our projects as some type of community engagement pedagogies. Often we can call this as a service learning. It's combining learning goals with community service in everything that we can help as a school of engineering. And we can check it in the outcomes for learning the most valuable skills in the 20 years. We can say some of them, like complex problem solving, critical thinking, creativity, pupil management, coordinating, emotional intelligence, service orientation, negotiation, etc. These topics are the most valuable skills, and we can implement it with others and get outcomes for the student, learning by doing, project-based world, but the students checking that they are involved in the closed cycle, they developed, but it will be implemented, working with specific audiences in order to increase the student commitment, preparing the students for an important thing as a future engineering, citizenship, social and civil responsibility, connections with other professionals and communities, very good for career opportunities, entrepreneurial and initiative mindset, and one important thing today, the green thinking. So just to finish, I know that there are a long way to go and an even more important mission for the universities. But I believe that in this pandemic case, the key can be the social active participation. Go outside the school, but the students working in projects with other partners outside school to get engagement, creativity, versatility, teamwork experience with other participations, etc. Teşekkürler. Obrigado in Portuguese. And I hope this discussion will be useful and big pleasure for me to be to participate in the Congress.
Thank you so much, Mr. Rosario from Portugal. Please give our greetings to Portugal and to your family, to your students, to your colleges in your environment. Thank you again.
Thank you, Ismail. Thank you so much.
Okay. Now we are going on our discussion here. Now I want to give the microphone to Ms. Tartarash. Are you ready for your presentation, Ms. Tartarash?
Yes, Professor. It is very nice to be. It's a great pleasure to be here with you and for the
Thank you.
first time. So I hope you all are great and your family in this pandemic period. I prepare my presentation. I will share about the e-commerce, and I will try to share it now with you. I don't know if
there are 3 dots on the upper right corner of the screen, yes. Ms. Tartarash.
Yes.
You can share your screen if you want.
Yes, I will. Okay. Is this okay?
Okay, very nice.
Okay, my presentation is I prepared my presentation about e-commerce and economic forces. The e-commerce is the fuel of the 21st century, and this is changing the world. This is changing the priorities of the people all around the world and their behavior. And e-commerce is a new universe nowadays. And business to business online marketing is very, very important. It is very important, especially in this pandemic period, because it involves professional buyers and sellers together. It requires less glitter and glamour, represents huge dollars or other. Finding new markets, it is possible to find new markets and new customers because there is no borders, and this is more easier to find new customers or to expand your business in other markets, and the costs savings in every area of the marketing mix is very, very comfortable to save the cost in the marketing mix. And the very important thing nowadays for all of us is the time. We cannot find the time to buy things or to to have the information about the products and services. So the business-to-business online marketing offer us to reduce the time in reaching markets in find things. What are the online consumers? Online consumers marketing offer us lower prices, the convenience of the products or services. They can permit to personalize the strategies, the marketing strategies for all the segment of the markets. It helps us to build a relationship with our customers, and we can increase the efficiency in our work and in our strategy of the marketing, the strategy that we construct according to the customer behaviors. So it is very, very important for the customers. But we have to study many parts of the e-commerce. Security and privacy issues of the e-commerce is a very important factors because this is one of the problems of e-commerce nowadays. Critical factors in building a relationship online. The credit card security is always a problem because there are many problems with privacy when we want to buy something through the e-commerce. We insert our credit cards data, and it can be very dangerous for us. The authenticity of item that we offered, it is a problem with item we offered online because they can be authentical or not, and we have to be sure that we are paying something that it is authentical, and the payment guarantees and fraud protection also. Okay, another important factor is economic forces and electronic commerce. Another question. Economic study of how people allocate scarce resources, and two conditions of a market. Potential sellers of a good come into contact with potential buyers of these goods or services, and this is a medium of exchange is available. There are transaction costs. Transactions cost. What are transaction costs? Transaction costs are the total cost that a buyer and a seller incur. Significant components of transaction costs are the cost of information search and acquisition, and the cost of investment of seller in equipment or in the hiring of skilled employees to supply products or services to the buyers. We can use the electronic commerce to reduce transaction costs, but so the electronic commerce helps the company to reduce the cost of transaction. Businesses and individuals can use electronic commerce to reduce transaction cost by improving the flow of information and increasing coordination of actions. Through these two factors, two actions, we can reduce the cost of transactions. Another important thing is the network economic structures. Neither a market nor a hierarchy. Companies coordinate their strategies, their resources and skill set, but forming long-term stable relationships with other companies or clients or individuals based on shared purposes. The second one is the strategic partnership or strategic alliance. Relationships creating within the network economic structure. These are the strategic partnerships that are very, very, very important in the economic structure of the network. Virtual companies is also very important. So the strategic partnership that occur between or among companies operating on the internet field. Strategic partners are the entities that come together as a team for a specific project or activity. Network effects are very important. The law of diminishing returns. Most activities yield less values as the amount of consumption increases. Network effects, as more people or organization participate in a network, the value of the network to each participant increases, is the network effect. This is the network effect. It is very important to identify electronic commerce opportunities. To identify the electronic commerce opportunities, we study the companies, multiple business units owned by a common set of shareholders. This is a company. Industry, what is the industry? Multiple companies that sell similar products to similar consumers, so they have the same, not the same, but similar products, and they have to sell these products to the same segment or the same clients or customers. Value chain is a strategic business. Is an important strategic business unit. And what is the value chain? A way of organizing the activities that each strategic business unit undertakes. And the primary activities include designing, producing, promoting, delivering, and supporting the products or services it sells. What include the supporting activities? Human resource management and purchasing. This is a scheme of value chain analysis that I think it is very known by all of you. And industry value chain is a large stream of activities into which a particular business unit's value chain is embedded, also referred to as industry value chain. What is the nature of electronic commerce? An international nature, because the e-commerce gives us the possibility to operate in an international or in a global world. And so the international nature of electronic commerce is a very important topic to discuss. Companies with established reputations often create trust by ensuring that customers know who they are, can really on their established brand names to create trust on the web. And this is very, very important. To create trust on the web, it is very, very important for the international electronic commerce. Customers inherently lack to trust in strangers on the web is logical and to be expected. We have to do a lot of work to to do the position of our brand or the company brand, because and we have to transmit this this good position of our brand to our consumer, because they have to trust to our brand. This will be very important for the relationship between the company and their consumers. Another important issue is the language, because operating internationally or globally means that we have to operate in different cultures with different languages. And to do business effectively in another culture, a business must adapt to those cultures. Researchers have found that customers are more likely to buy products and services from websites in their own language, because for them it is very easy to buy something in their language. Localization and translation that considers multiple elements of the local environment is very important in the language issues. The culture issues, it is very important in an international e-commerce, because we have to operate in various countries, and we have to buy our products or services in various countries with various cultures, and this is why we have to know the culture of our customer, and to do a combination of the culture, language, and other factors that influence our consumers and give them the possibility to buy our products. When we operate internationally, we go in various national boundaries, different regions, and we have to create the commodity for our consumers to understand our products and or services, and to buy it. Another important issue are the infrastructure issues. Internet infrastructure includes having computer and software, and connecting these computers and softwares to the internet, to have communication network over which message packets travel, flat rate access system. Customer or business pays one monthly fee for unlimited telephone line usage. To contribute to rapid rise of electronic commerce, and to target for technological solution include paperwork processes that accompany international transactions. This is a similar, there are various schemes of international trade transaction work, but I choose one of them to present. This is my presentation. I want to thank you for your attention, and if you have some question, you're welcome.
Thank you so much for your valuable information you have just given us about the e-trade or e-commerce. As we are buyers and consumers in our homes, in our offices, but there are some dangers waiting for us on the screens. Thank you very much, Ms. Tartaraj. Thank you so much again.
Welcome, thank you.
Okay,
Thank
and
you
greetings. Thank you. Greetings to Albania. Right. Okay. Now Now we are listening to Mr. Toros from Istanbul Technical University. Mr. Toros?
Yes, I want to share my screen.
Okay.
By the way, thank you for all of you, and usually Rosario give more information about the situation of these days.
Tu che si getta a posto. Okay. Watch.
Okay.
Okay.
As you say, we are now, everything is changing, our life is changing. And maybe we need this changing. As you know, the technology is improving and everything is changing, but life, working situation is not changed during the last maybe 100 years. We need some catalyst. Maybe the virus now, like a catalyst, it is changing our life. Before these days, we all of the world go to cities, migration to cities, and cities population is increased. So that population increasing do some problems. For example, one of them is air pollution. Because million of people live a small area. Everyone do some things, they produce air pollution, they affects air pollution. So we need some things to change the life. But we are waiting this. It will be COVID-19. I believe that after these years, maybe several years later, all over the world, maybe we change our life. We not live in cities. We change our habitat to small areas. At that time, maybe one important things, when we change our life, maybe air pollution, one of the big problem, as you know now, every year 7 million people died depending air pollution. So we need to do some things. If we change our habitat, or we decrease our productions, we decrease our cars, traffics, or others, it affects, it decreases air pollution. Now I want to show you two biggest cities in Turkey. One of them is Istanbul, and other is the capital of Turkey, Ankara. Istanbul population is about 16 million. Ankara population is about 6 million. For these cities, usually main air pollution sources are motor vehicles, installations, and heatings. It is the three biggest main sources of this. As this is a northwest of Turkey, as you see Istanbul, and a bit center of the Turkey, there is Ankara cities. I look to air pollution, to PM10, particulate matter 10 pollutants for 2 years, 2019 before COVID-19 and 2020 during the COVID-19. How will affect air pollution in these cities? So to compare this, we choose two periods. One period is January, February, March, June, July, August, September, and October. At that month, usually normal life is continue, no restrictions. But during the April, May, November, and December, to 2020 last years, we do some restrictions. We decrease our productions, we decrease traffics, etc. Everything is decreased. So we compare last 2 years how will affect or how will give signal in a operations data. Here, during a day, 2 years data.
Mr. Toros, can you hear us?
Hear me?
Okay, now I can hear you.
Before?
Okay, go on, please.
Before you can't hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, no problem.
No problem.
As you see, normal life continues. Last 2 years data a bit same during a day, but we decrease our life April, May, November and December. As you see, 2020 and 2019, as you see, last year's data decreased during the day. Okay. Or we look data numbers. For example, if you look all data during the 2 years, 2019 and 2020, all data, the percentage of the change, it is a bit 6% decreased. But in normal months, last year data increase before year's data. But during the measuring taken months, last year's 26% decrease depending 2019 year's data. We can look this data during the weekday and weekend day. Again, we see that weekday last year data is about 10% decreased, but in normal life continuing months, it is not changing. But major taken months, April, May, November, and December, it is 27% decreased. Weekend days is also, for example, major taken months, it is 22% decreased. We can see in Istanbul data when we measure some things, we decrease traffic, etc., or we decrease the production, air pollution is decreased, and we can see the signal very good value. In Ankara, again, normal life months, June, July, etc. Last year's data a bit increased, depending 2019 year's data. Because, as you see, Ankara, maybe population is increased, etc. But last year's data is increased before earlier year data. But during the major taken months, again we see that last year data, it is decreased, depending earlier year's data. When we look data again, for example, all data, 2020 year's data is increased depending 2019 year's data. In normal life, continuing months, it is about 30% increased. But at that increased during the April, May, November, and December. If we compare these months, it is again, but 2 years data a bit increased, but depending normal life for 3 months, it is again the decreasing is less than other percentage. Again, we look the data weekday and weekend day, etc. Again, in Ankara, in generally, last year's data increased before earlier year's data, but during the major taken months, the increasing percentages, if we compare the other months, it is a bit low level. We can see that in Ankara also, if we compare the results of COVID-19 major months, we see the effects. So this shows that the coronavirus affecting the whole world, as you know. Curve restriction started to apply in Turkey last year, 16th of March. As you know, street maybe in all over the world from satellite data, etc. As you see, air pollution decreased. We see in this decreasing in our cities data also. My idea, maybe in future, air pollution now again the big problem of the all over the world. We can't decrease the air pollutions in cities. Maybe the virus decrease population of the cities, people change their habitat about or changing their life, working area, etc. from online meetings, online other things. So cities population decrease, cities air pollution decrease. Maybe in near futures, the virus will be benefit for human futures. I can say this. Thank you very much. I want to say my idea about the COVID-19 situations, and I believe that this bad situations, future results will be benefit for humanity. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Toros. I think you have talked some good sides of coronavirus, COVID-19. And people say that people living in Istanbul can see the Uludağ mountain as we read in the newspapers. Can we say it is true, Mr. Toros?
Yes.
Okay, because
as you know, air pollution's harmful. When we benefit, it is also harmful for seeing long distance seeing. Its effects also.
Okay. Thank you so much, because now the weather pollution or air pollution, it's very important for the humanity. Especially people in big cities are in a very big danger because of the air pollution. Okay, we cannot thank to COVID-19, but in this reality, we have talked about the advantages of COVID-19 because no one takes some measures against air pollution. But COVID-19 has persuaded us to stay at home and use less traffic, and so now the air is clearer now. Thank you so much again, Mr. Toros. Now I want to give the microphone to Mr. Bayraktar from Bayburt University. Hanif Hocam, söz sizde. Sizi dinliyoruz Hanif Hocam. Buyurun. Hanif Hocam, sesim geliyor mu?
Geliyor da bir dakika. Ya, merhabalar. İsmail Hocam, sesim geliyor galiba.
Geliyor hocam. Buyurun, başlayabilirsiniz.
Teşekkürler İsmail Hocam. Öncelikle 6. Uluslararası Marmara Konferansı'nın ülkemize, milletimize, tüm şeye hayırlı olmasını diliyorum. Bu vesileyle de Kongre Başkanımız Doçent Doktor Özgür Gökkaya, sizlere moderatör olarak, rektör hocamıza ve özellikle de değerli kardeşim, öğretim görevlisi Mustafa Ok hocama buradan çok çok teşekkürlerimi arz ediyorum. Bilindiği üzere ben şimdi değiştim. Atatürk Üniversitesi'ndeyim. Erzurum'dan selamlarımı iletiyorum. Mühendislik Fakültesi Çevre Mühendisliği akademisyen olduğum için bu pandemi sürecinde çevre sorunları başlığı altında pandemiyi de biraz irdelemek istiyorum. Bu yaşadığımız 1,5 yıldır yaklaşık olarak yaşadığımız bu COVID-19 pandemi sürecinin önemli çevre sorunlarından birisi olduğunu ifade etmek istiyorum öncelikle. Bilindiği üzere onlarca ifade edeceğimiz çevre sorunları var. En önemlisi de ve nihayetinde de algının, farkındalığın, bilincin ciddi şekilde arttığı bu COVID sürecinin, pandemi sürecinin insanlığa bazı şeylerin farkındalığı oluşturduğunun da farkındayız. Ben şunu ifade etmek isterim. Onlarca sayacağımız çevre problemleri var. Hava kirliliğinden su kirliliğine, toprak kirliliğinden radyoaktif kirliliğe, ısı, ışık, gürültü gibi birçok çevre sorunları sayabildiğimiz gibi yapılan araştırmalar gösteriyor ki bu pandemi sürecinin de bir çevre problemi ve çevre kirliliği sonucunda, çevreye yapılan müdahale sonucunda geliştiğini çok rahatlıkla ifade edebiliriz. Çünkü yaklaşık 1800'lü yılların başından itibaren artan nüfus, artan sanayileşme, artan fosil yakıtların tüketimi, büyüme, tüketim çılgınlığı, bütün bu süreçler doğanın tahribatına, çevre sorunlarının çıkışına sebebiyet verdi. Bunun yanında yaban hayatını, doğal hayatı, toprak, bitki örtüsünü, endemik türlerin, diğer hayvan türlerinin yok olmasında, hayat alanlarının kısıtlamasında da bu üretim çılgınlığı, tüketim çılgınlığı önemli işlev gördü. Bakın yaşadığımız bu pandeminin çıkış mecralarından birisi de yaban hayatından olan yarasalarla ifade edilmeye çalışılıyor. Biz son 100 yıldır artan nüfusla, artan tüketim çılgınlığıyla ve artan bu üretim, tüketimi karşılama adına yapılacak üretim prosesleriyle biz yaban hayatına müdahale etmeye başladık. Büyüyen şehirler, büyüyen endüstriyel alanlar, büyüyen transportation için yapılan yollar, ulaşım, tedarik, lojistik, bütün bu süreçler yaban hayatının daha da dar kapsama sıkışmasına ve insanoğluyla da çok yoğun temasının, daha sık temasının yaşanmasına sebebiyet verdi. İşte bu sebeple de son yılda, önceki yıllarda da yaşadığımızın daha güçlüsünü ki salgınları biz pandemi süreçlerini tarih boyunca onlarca kez yaşadık ama son yılda yaşadığımız bu sürecin daha yoğun, daha etkili olduğunu gözlemliyoruz. İşte bütün bunlar maalesef çevreye yaptığımız baskılar, çevreye yaptığımız müdahalelerden kaynaklanıyor. Onun için de ben burada öncelikle çevre sorunlarının farkındalığından bahsetmek istiyorum. Çünkü insanların alışkanlıklarını, davranışlarını, satın alma kararlarını değiştirmek için mutlaka ve mutlaka çevre sorunlarıyla ilgili olan farkındalığının geliştirilmesi, bilinçlendirilmesi gerekiyor. Yapılan çalışmalar şunu gösteriyor. Çevre sorunlarıyla ilgili olan algı son yıllarda giderek artıyor. Yaşadığımız bu Covid, az önce Hüseyin Hocam'ın belirttiği üzere, yine diğer katılımcılardan, panelistlerden, Mr. Lewis'in üniversitedeki rolünü, Mrs. Tartaraj'ın elektronik ticaretle olan ilişkisini ve artışını ifade ettiler. Bu süreçte de çevre farkındalığının da, çünkü önemli bir çevre sorunu bu da, diğer çevre sorunları, küresel iklim krizleri, küresel ısınma dediğimiz olaylar, bütün bunların, asit yağmurları gibi bütün bunların yanında bu algının da geliştiğini, yine Hüseyin Hocam'ın bahsettiği gibi PM10 konsantrasyonlarındaki azalışların da Covid ile beraber geliştiğini, ben de buna parantez açarak bu süreçte çevre algısının da önemli geliştiğini görüyorum. Ancak buradaki problem şu: sadece algı yetmiyor. Sadece farkındalık yetmiyor. Çünkü biz çevre sorunlarıyla ilgili yapacağımız adımların yalnızca gereksiz yola lambanın kapatılması, ışığın kapatılması veya 2 atık kalem pilin toplama kablarında biriktirilmesi olarak algılıyoruz. Halbuki çevre sorunlarının temelinde birçok başlığın dikkate alınması ve bu başlıklar altında bu algının gelişmesi yanında davranışa, tutuma dönüşmesi de gerekiyor. Yapılan çalışmalar, bilimsel çalışmalar hep şunu gösteriyor: her ne kadar bilgiye ulaşımda, bilinçlenmede, çevre algısında ciddi bir gelişme, özellikle de bu pandemiyle beraber çok yüksek olsa da maalesef tutum ve davranışa dönüşümde ciddi sıkıntılar yaşanıyor. Ve çok basit olarak görülüyor. Halbuki temiz bir çevre, yaşanabilir bir dünya tüm insanların hakkı. Birleşmiş Milletler'den anayasamızın 52. maddesine kadar tüm hukuki temellerde bu net olarak vurgulanmakta. Bu yaşadığımız sorunlar, pandemi de bunun içinde, küresel ısınma, asit yağmurları, ozon tabakasındaki incelme gibi birçok sayacağımız gürültü, ses, ışık, ısı, hava, toprak, su kirliliği yanında bu pandemi sürecinde de bu sorunların küresel bir nitelik taşıdığının farkında olunması gerekiyor. Yine bu süreçler için alınacak tedbirlerin, çözümlerin de geç olmadığını, hala bir şans, insanlık için bir şans olduğunu ifade etmem gerekiyor. Çünkü biz bu çevreyi hoyratça kullanmanın sonuçlarını sadece biz değil, gelecek nesiller, hatta insanlığın varoluşunu kadar etkileyecek kadar önemli olduğunu da ifade etmek istiyorum. Evet, burada hızlı bir şekilde de neler yapabiliriz? Çok kısa başlıklarla ifade edeyim. Ben sözü bitirmek istiyorum. Bakın, az önce bahsettik. Birçok algıda, bilgide yeterli şeyler yapıldı. Örneğin atık yönetimiyle ilgili ülkemizde de dünyada da adımlar atılıyor. Küresel ısınma algısı, bilgisi oluştu toplumda. Sera etkisinin farkında. Ancak endüstriyel proseslerde emisyon azaltıcı uygulamalar için neler yapabiliriz? Alışkanlıklarımızı, tüketim çılgınlığımızı nasıl azaltabiliriz? Arkasındaki bu ekolojik ayak izi veya başka ifadelerle karbon ayak izi, su ayak izi gibi ifadelerin neler olduğunu, bununla ilgili bilincin oluşturulmasında önemli olduğunu ben düşünüyorum. Bakın, yine hibrit teknolojiler, yine bunun yanında çevresel teknolojilerin geliştirilmesi, bütün bu bilgilerin de farkındalığın da toplumumuzda oluşturulmasının önemli olduğunu ifade etmek istiyorum. Ve sonuç olarak da bizim alışkanlıklarımızı pandemi gibi bütün bu çevre sorunlarıyla baş edebilmenin veya daha sıklıkla yaşamamak için, çünkü maalesef çok kısa bir döngüye düştük. Çevre sorunlarını bugün bu süreçlerde tutmamız bizim bu sorunlarla yüzleşmeyeceğimiz anlamına gelmiyor. Çok ciddi şekilde önlemler almak gerekiyor. İşte bunun için de alışkanlıklarımızı mutlaka ve mutlaka değiştirmek gerekiyor. Enerji tüketimini azaltmak gerekiyor. Tüketim çılgınlığından vazgeçmek gerekiyor. Ham madde tedariği artık dünyayı bitirdik. Yapılan birçok çalışma, ekolojik çalışmalar şunu gösteriyor: artık dünyada tedarik için, ham madde için yeterli gezegene sahip değiliz. 2030'larda yeni bir gezegene, 2050'lerde 3 tane bu tedarik ham maddesini, gıda tedariğini, endüstriyel ürün tedariğini sağlamak için 3 yeni gezegene ihtiyaç duyuluyor. Bunun sürdürülebilmesi mümkün değil. Onun için de geri dönüşümün çok ciddi şekilde ele alınmasını ifade etmek istiyorum. Ve son olarak da çevre bilincinin, çevre eğitiminin, çevre farkındalığının önemli olduğunu ifade etmek istiyorum. Ve sözlerimi burada bitirirken hepinize, katılımcılara, tüm panelistlere teşekkürler arz ediyorum.
Biz de teşekkür ediyoruz Hanife Hocam. Buyurun Mustafa Hocam. Mustafa Hocam bir şey mi diyecektiniz?
Yok hocam, teşekkür ederim.
Teşekkürler Hanife Hocam. Gerçekten önemli noktalara değindiniz. Yani bugün fabrikaların bacalarından salınan gazlar, tüketilen enerjiler, efendim bu bitmek tükenmek bilmeyen harcamalar, tüketimler gerçekten insanlığın sonunu getiriyor gibi görünüyor. Teşekkür ederiz tekrardan. Thank you very much to Mr. Bayraktar. Mr. Bayraktar has also impressed about the air pollution and the overuse of energy throughout the world, and he has suggested some very critical solutions for humanity in this period. Now I want to give the microphone to Ms. Merko. Yes, we are listening to you, Ms. Merko.
Thank you for
You're welcome.
the sixth time invitation to me.
Okay.
In your conference.
Okay, no problem. No problem.
I am always happy to be part of this conference, and it will be better to be there, but let's hope that next one will be live and we meet each other. I am a teacher, so I have prepared something related to the students, and the problems that education and students are facing in these difficult times, of course, but the problems that students have with choosing the field of study. We have made a survey with students from different universities, and I think that will be interesting for you to hear about the what they have written in their surveys. So let's put my presentation, please. Do you see it?
Yes, we can see.
Okay. Universities versus radical transformation of the labor market. So I am focusing in problems of the curricula of the universities, and are they fitting or not with the labor market? But the focus is, of course, in Albania. And the objective of this presentation is to identify the problems that students face after graduation and their situation in the labor market. And as I said before, we made surveys with students at the University of Tirana and Durrës, two different big universities in Albania. And the data collected by this survey are analyzed to explain the problems that students face in the labor market. Question to discuss. The world of work is changing. According to the discussing of this moment is forecasting that 60% of children entering primary school today will be employed in jobs that do not yet exist. That means that they will work in the jobs that now nobody knows about them. One of our country's biggest problem is the gap between the study programs offered by the universities and those that the labor market demands. Another question is, are students being equipped with the 21st century skills needed to thrive in the future? How are universities responding to the demand for degrees that better prepare students for future employment? So what are the problems of universities? Rising students' expectation with an increasingly competitive graduate jobs market and the rising cost of higher education, the shaming customer behavior in causing universities to rethink the whole student journey. Digital platforms are being used to innovate the teaching and learning experience, revolutionize research through the use of big data and artificial intelligence, and to drive improved business operation against performance objectives. Increasing students' mobility and an expanding higher education marketplace means that universities should establish a compelling competitive advantage that resource behind their local contents. I am basically another slide because maybe all of us are interesting to hear figures from the surveys. As we see in the graph, almost 50% of the respondents of the survey think that one of the main problems of universities has to do with the closure of disciplines of study that do not offer employment opportunities because the market is oversupplied or does not offer employment opportunities for these professions. An important element is the fact that individuals know that it is no longer important to have a degree, but even more important is to finish your studies in a discipline that offers employment opportunities. Then a major importance is given to updating the curricula, which should be emphasized that they are not very up to date with the radical changes that the market is experiencing dynamic. Others stress the fact of opening new innovative disciplines. Other responser. Another question of the survey was how students decide what to study. And a number of questions are related to his, I had information that I could find a job easily, and it is almost 61% of the responser. I was not, it was not in my first preference. That is really a problem because only 6.25% of them has choose a field of study that is not in their preference, but they choose a field of study they think that will find a work or will find a job that will give their secure life, etc., but not they like to do in the future. And this is really a problem for the students. Another one is a discipline that I always preferred, that is only nearly 15%. I have followed the family tradition, that is almost only 3%, and it was recommended by my friends, that is 50% also. So that means that students are not choosing a field they like, they want to be in the future, but they are most of the field of study that will give their job after finishing the studies. Employment opportunities, it was another question of the survey. It was that have you had employment experiences before your studies in bachelor, in the doctoral degree, in professional master, and in Master of Science? And the responders are that before the students start high school not working before. Before they have no possibility to work during the secondary school, and so 64% of them haven't worked before. Of course, doctoral degree, 100% of them are working before making this this school. Professional, master professional, and individuals who have completed a Master of Science have more employment opportunities than those who have completed a professional master, and the difference is almost 20%. That in fact is not a good figure, because we think that to make a professional master needs to have experience before, and you make this master to improve your knowledges in this field. But usually students go in master degree, professional or science, directly they finish the high school. So it's possible that they have no experience before in the field they are studying in the bachelor. Studies versus actual jobs. From the table we see that only 29% of the respondents are employed in a job position that corresponds to their field of study. According to the graduated with a Master of Science, have almost the same possibilities as bachelor students to find a job that matches their field of study, because the figures are almost the same, while surprise may come from graduated with a professional master who were expected to be at a higher values. So the figures of professional master that is expected to be higher is lower than all. Professional master is only 9.09% that say yes, and that say no is 8.76%. Another thing to discuss is that the number of the students is decreasing year after year. And the reason for this, of course, is the emigration of the students. After finishing the secondary school, the most of students choose to make the high school abroad, in the country that... Sorry? In the country that, or in the field they think that will find a job after finishing the study. Problem is also the students that study in the field that agriculture, forestry, fisheries, and veterinary. We have to say that agriculture sector in Albania employs 47.8% of the population, and about 24 to 31% of the land is used for agriculture purpose. Also, agriculture contributes to 18.9% of the country's GDP, and the number of students in the field of agriculture, forestry, fisheries, and veterinary has decreased by 60% during only the 5 last years. So it's problem that what kind of specialist will will work in the agriculture in this wide field, and we will give their direction or their thoughts about the agriculture. If the number of this field is number of the students in this field is decreased by 60%. So in total, the number of the students is decreased, but this sector or this field is more problematic. Even all that important data that I give before for the agriculture sector in Albania. So for what I say before, some conclusions here are related what that I stress in each of slides. So it's not necessary to say again. So hope to have give you some interesting data about the actual high school and relation between university and labor in Albania. Teşekkürler.
Oh, thank you very much, Ms. Merko, and thanks for your information you have prepared for the university students and master's or bachelor or doctoral students and their work experience you have shared us, and you have given some very critical and significant data and facts about the current position of those youngsters. Thank you very much for joining our Congress, Ms. Merko.
Thank you.
Okay, I think we have completed our session now. Thank you all for joining the Congress and giving us and sharing us your valuable ideas. Thank you all, and please give our greetings to your family and your countries. Thank you very much, Mr. Rosario, Ms. Tartarash, Mr. Bayraktar, Mr. Toros, and Ms. Merko. Thank you very much.
Thank you
Mustafa
for your
Hocam,
support.
söz sizden. Okay.
Thank you for your support and participation. Wish next Congress will be live. We want to see all together. Thank you very much. Thank you for all. See you again.
For inviting us.
Thank you. Thank you. Good Congress. Bye.
Thank you.